The Modern Game Podcast.
You see me fading.
We're starting with that. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 16 of the Modern Game Podcast. We had a couple of weeks break over Christmas, and we've decided to reformat for the about sixth time. So starting with the top five on the podcast again, and obviously, if you've been keeping up with, bollocks, you won't have kept up with the YouTube because I haven't put the CDMs up yet, but this is the box midfielders one, and we'll just get straight into it. Number 5, I've got Decore.
I feel like I need to do a disclaimer because people are not going to agree on my list. But
you have to disclaimer every single top 5.
Yeah, I've gone with Scott Mctominay.
Scott Mctominay, fifth.
The thing is, though, with these lists, I feel like fourth and fifth, it could be anyone. It genuinely could be
apart
anyone.
from Scott McTominay.
I'm not having Scott
What
McTominay better than
Decore.
Listen, I've done my list.
Scott McTominay better than Andre Gomez?
For the majority of my players, I've gone for two factors: ability and potential. Obviously, we all do our list differently. I could say that there's 5 better box-to-box midfielders currently in the Prem than him, but I like him, and my whole list is biased. But
Cabs is playing career.
He's
He's got an 88 potential, so I'll put him in.
Dan's list last week was just players he liked. So
yeah, Dan, I heard about your list. Yeah, I wasn't there for
Dan's
the
list
recording,
last week.
I heard
He
about
was
your list.
lying.
Bro.
Oh, I actually wasn't
He
lying.
was lying. You cannot have Fernandinho not in a top 5 Premier League
I
defender.
can when it's current and he's not playing.
The De Gea law.
The De Gea
Well, yeah,
play for De Gea only.
my number 5
No, not really.
that Cabs and Charlie aren't going to be happy with is Ndombele.
I mean, we've already established
He
that Jamie
can't
doesn't
be any
actually watch
higher up.
football.
He can't be any higher up than that for me.
How do you remove someone from a meeting?
How can you argue that he should be any higher when he's had like 12 good games this season? That's pretty much all I've seen of him.
I had him 6.
How many games have we played this season? You had him 6.
I love this guy.
He's not in your top 5.
He's not in my top 5.
And you had Decore.
Yeah.
Dan doesn't.
Can we wrap this up now?
No.
You're saying about removing someone from the group.
No. Justification. I don't think he's as good a box-to-box midfielder as Decore. Because I don't think he's...
Have you got him in your attacking?
What, you think he's a number 10?
I might have him in my 10s. I haven't decided yet.
But honestly, before we started this
Bloody
podcast, I
hell.
thought you man knew football. And I know you're going to laugh because I got McTominay 5th, but listen.
Yeah,
last season, where did Ndombele actually play? Probably
Well,
an 8.
Mourinho plays him at 10 currently.
Exactly.
He's
So,
not a 10.
but that's where his best form's been, at a 10. So I'd rather put him in 10s because he's been a good 10.
One of his best attributes is carrying the ball through transition. So when you have him as an 8 next to a competent DM, the way he can start off attacks.
But I think you can say that about Grealish, but Grealish is a 10.
Yeah, I guess you could.
I just think
we're not talking about Grealish.
if we're like, if you didn't support Spurs, I know it's an if, and you just watch from the outside, and Ndombele is the 10, and Ndombele is playing in the 10.
So basically, what you're saying is, if you don't watch Spurs, then cool. So your opinion is based off not watching enough.
The thing is,
I've watched you a fair amount of games actually this season, but I'm just saying I've watched Ndombele in the 10, and I watched Ndombele last season where he was playing a bit deeper, and he's been better this season. And that's not just because of the.
I don't think that's down to his position, though. I think it's down to him working harder for the team.
In Ndombele's game, you can see if you watch 90 minutes, you can see his best.
Can I leave early? Can I leave the sofa early?
Yeah, receiving the ball deep and driving through box to box. That's his best attribute.
But I think box to box is defensive ability as well.
Yeah, that's why.
But you're from box to box. Like you are defending and attacking. I mean, so
he's not bad defensively, but he can definitely improve a lot.
Exactly, he's not bad defensively, but not enough to put him in box to box. I'll probably put him in 10s.
If that's your argument, then cool, I understand it.
Charlie,
see, I really struggled with my. I decided on 4th, and I really struggled on 5th. And this is a player probably might not even be a box to box, maybe a bit more of a holder, but has attributes of a box to box. I've gone Basuma 5th.
Oh, he's an honourable mention.
He was an honourable mention for me last week, but I think he's a box to box. But I didn't realise we were going to do box to box until the other day, and we'd already done DMs.
I was just thinking about it. I didn't have him in DMs, and then I just clocked that his game is best when he's
definitely
when he's going forward, when he's driving forward. But he's one of the better defensive midfielders as well. So that's his all-round game is incredible.
Would you say that he's better than Ward-Prowse?
No,
I'll say they're quite different players.
Because I think Ward-Prowse is box to. Well, I think he's more box to box than a holder.
You know what? I feel like
I should have had Ward-Prowse.
Yeah.
He was one of my honourable mentions. He was.
Can I go next and say my 4th?
Should we do honourable mentions first?
Who did you have 5th, Jamie? By the way.
And Dumbledore.
Oh yeah, obviously.
No, we'll do honourable mentions after, just in case someone has got. Let me go next then. I've got James Ward-Prowse 4th.
Good shot.
Yeah, I can't argue with it. I just think the list I'm looking at now does James Ward-Prowse fit here? Not really.
Yeah, see, that's my thing. The thing is, he can definitely replace Mctominay, but I'm gonna stick with Mctominay.
Well, I'll go for my 4th net. I'll go on the Charles. Go on.
With Ward-Prowse, I had him 5th, and then I couldn't think of someone to put above him, and I moved him up because he's slowly becoming one of the better midfielders in the league. And I genuinely feel like if he moved to a top 6 club and played alongside better midfielders, he would massively flourish.
I mean,
the only top 6 club that he fits in though is Arsenal, and do you class Arsenal as a top 6 club anymore?
And well, the Southampton boys are going to love you for that because I haven't got him in.
Incredible set piece taker as well.
He is, yeah. He's probably the best in the league.
Best in the league.
Yeah,
definitely best in the league.
Jamie.
My 4th place,
we're going backwards order.
I've got Jay Hendo, and that's because I didn't have him in my holding mid. So
4th as a box to box. Obviously, I can't put him in. Oh, really? That low down?
Hendo.
Yeah, the 3 that I've got above him, I don't know, man.
You see, my thoughts on Henderson. I think he definitely gets a lot of disrespect and he gets underappreciated quite a lot. But I think he's vital to that Liverpool team, not only as a player, but in terms of captaincy as well.
I touched on it last week.
I think even, obviously I've not seen that video yet, but I think even the stats in terms of their results with and without him in the team. And I do think he's a lot better ability-wise than people give him credit for as well. Good passer of the ball.
Yeah. I
genuinely feel like if he was Brazilian or Spanish, he would be considered one of the best midfielders in the league.
Jordan Hendonia. He's like the glue for Liverpool. That's how I'd like.
Yeah, I mean, he was terrible at centre back mind.
That just shows how much they missed him in midfield, though.
Oh yeah, they got overrun yesterday by a 4-4-2. 4th, I've gone Ilkay Gundogan, not because of yesterday alone, just because when you look at it's genuinely not. I didn't rate him at all.
And then
I thought what I rated him.
Until he's been Thiago Silva, but this season he's turned it on. So
this season he's been City's best player.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I do think he's a quality player.
And to be the best player in a team that are 2 points off top with a game in hand. I feel like I've underrated him massively, and I didn't realise he's been in the Premier about 5 years now, won 2 titles. Yeah. I've got to put him in there somewhere.
He has been in the Prem for 5 years, but he's not done anything until this year. Really, he's been a utility.
I think he's one of them players from the outside
on the fringes.
Yeah, do we know?
On the fringes, he doesn't start every game. He starts some games, and then you don't see him again for another couple of weeks, and then he'll start a couple of games, and you won't see him again. But he's always in and out of the squad.
That's why
I feel like to be top 5 in the league, I wouldn't be able to have him because he's not consistently starting for his club. He's been in and out for 5 years.
Wingers, you're not going to have Mahrez. For me, you have to have someone like Mahrez.
But what he did for Leicester, you have to take that into account.
Yeah, that's true.
Hasn't done anything previously for City.
But I think playing 25 odd games for 2 title winning seasons is more than enough to.
I do like Gundogan, to be fair.
I do like
City's team for 25 games out of 38. You've got to be some sort of player. And I feel
is there not midfielders in that team that were getting in more than him that you haven't got on the list?
I was trying to think of their midfielders.
As a box
box
As a box to box, I don't think they have got a better
no.
box to box than him. Like Rodri's a sitter. They had David Silva with him and De
You say
Bruyne.
Foden's a 10.
Foden's a 10.
Yeah.
I just thought I have to put a City player in there somewhere because someone's had to warrant them. Someone's had to be box to box for them.
Fair enough.
And should we go back to original order?
Back to regular
Third,
order.
I've got Paul Pogba.
I've gone for Genie Wijnaldum.
Right, so Dan, the way that I'm looking at this, my third, you must have him second or first.
Who's your third?
I've got Yuri Tillemans.
He is more second or first. I won't reveal where he is, but
Fucking hell, you've got him above Pogba.
I have.
That's crazy though. So what?
Who was your third, Cavs?
I really rate him.
Genie.
That's first.
I feel
Tillemans.
Cavs loves Pogba, to be fair.
Yeah, I do. I feel like ability-wise, Genie edges it over Henderson a little bit more, but I do feel like Henderson is arguably more vital to the Liverpool team. That's why for me it was a bit difficult between them, but going off ability-wise, it's got to be Genie.
The reason I would put Genie above Henderson is because I think he is more of a box-to-box mid than Henderson.
Yeah.
Henderson, I mean, you can class him as a box-to-box, but you can class him as a holder as well. So
he doesn't go forward.
The more out-and-out box-to-box
Genie.
is Genie.
Yeah. Charlie?
This is hard because I completely forgot about him.
Tough one.
Tillemans.
How could you forget about Tillemans?
I had Tillemans from the start. I'll base my list
with
off
players like that, though, for me, my top 2/3 players like Tillemans are either going to make the list 4th or 5th, or just not make it at all. And I feel like it's really, really hard to just leave them out. I might have to change halfway through.
I feel like I should put Tielemans over McTominay, you know, for sure.
I thought you would have him either third or higher.
Yeah, I've got him higher.
I didn't think you would have forgot about him.
I'm going to take out Basuma, put Ward-Prowse 5th, put Tielemans 4th.
That's really good of you for my editing.
Yeah, and then Ndombele 3rd.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Dan. I'm going to put Tielemans 5th as well. And have McTominay as an honourable mention.
Me, Tillemans is, I mean, obviously, as I've said, he's the third best box to box. I think he gets into, I don't know if I'd say he gets into the Liverpool team. I'd say he'd get into the City team.
He wouldn't get into the Spurs team.
Tillemans?
I think he would.
Purely because he got Tongi and Gio.
I think he's far better than the
Yeah, I think. He's definitely
far better.
You know what? I've just got loyalty to the Celso. That's why I feel like
if it was swapped round and Tillemans was at Spurs and Gio was at Leicester, you'd be taking Tillemans every
If you were to say to me, would you swap Tillemans for Celso right now, no strings? Obviously, I'd say yeah.
Yeah, you know,
he's so good. I mean, we haven't even gotten to him yet. Charlie, who's your second?
My second.
Oh, has everyone said their third?
Everyone said the third. Who was your third?
Mine was Ndombele.
You said Ndombele.
My third was Ndombele. So do you want me to go first or second?
We'll go backwards again.
So I've got Wijnaldum second.
I've also got Wijnaldum second. Wijnaldum.
This is to do with the consistency of my list so far, because I've not really had many new signings in. Well, I don't think I've had any, but if Ndombele would have been playing for the same amount of time as Wijnaldum, he would be top 2. Everyone's going to, unless you haven't put this player as a box-to-box, everyone's going to have the same first. But yeah, I feel like if Ndombele played for a couple more seasons consistently in the first team on a regular basis, he'd be miles ahead of Wijnaldum.
Your obvious number one is?
Yeah, it's just, I know it is.
Dan hasn't.
Dan hasn't put him in.
For real.
I'm trying to think who it is.
I'm gonna go second.
What do you mean? I'm trying to think of who it is. There's only one man it could be.
Is Paul Bill Pogba.
Your second. That's your second.
That's who you've got second.
Yeah, second. Yeah.
So what? So Cavs has got Ndombele first.
We haven't done first.
That's what I mean. Who's the obvious first?
We haven't done first yet. But yeah, my second is Paul Pogba. Because I feel like people can argue he's not done enough. I mean, we spoke about Pogba enough times on the podcast before. People can argue he's not put up the numbers or he's not.
He had a game against Villa.
He's in terms of ability, he's one of the best players in the league.
Yeah, definitely.
And you can't really dispute that, especially box to box.
That's why I had him third, because based on performance, I'd have had him out of the list. But you have to put him in there somewhere. But yeah, second I've got Gini Wijnaldum, but I'm really confused who's first.
Wait, so
I mean, we must.
who was you
Jamie,
So, Pogba. So my
You've got
first place
Tielemans
is Yuri
top.
Tielemans.
fucking hell,
Jamie,
man.
who have you got? Because I don't
Who have you
know
got second?
whether.
First,
I've
Yeah,
got
first.
Wijnaldum second.
second, I've got Wijnaldum.
So you got Pogba first.
First, I've got Pogba first.
Charlie?
See, I haven't got Pogba because I was
you
really
list that
undecided
all?
as
Dude,
to
so
whether.
Pogba, you haven't got Pogba in your list?
No, I haven't. I was really undecided as to whether I was going to put De Bruyne as a 10. Or not.
We spoke about this
He's
before.
He's a
definitely a
10. He's a 10.
I'll put him first in box to box.
So that's your choice. But I said
going
before
that's
the recording.
disgusting.
I said before
Yeah,
the
but-
recording, are we classing De Bruyne as a box to
What
box?
is
And
going on?
everyone said no, he's a 10. So I just left him out. Obviously, if he was,
I
I'd put him
personally-
in number one
I-
wherever he plays. But
I was undecided, but then I did a bit of research.
wrong.
I was looking at his heat maps and shit, and they do constitute a box to box player the way he.
I'm sick of this guy.
rotates.
I was looking at his heat maps.
Heat maps?
How else are you meant to
no
judge
wonder
whether a
it took
player
us
runs-
so long to get
How
recorded.
else?
Charlie's
How
been
else? No,
scouring his
listen.
heat maps.
How else, if I'm trying to decide whether a player is box to box or attacking midfielder, how else am I supposed to decide whether a player is box to
So
box?
did you look at his heat maps for this season, for his whole City career? Heat maps from when?
I just scrolled through a very large selection of heat maps in years.
What, from the
Box
last
to
like
box, in my
5
opinion,
games
is
or
also
something?
first.
He's a 10, bro.
I mean, the list is opinion based. I've put him in my opinion, first box to box.
I mean, no one's going to agree that I've got number 1 best box to box midfielder in the Premier League, Tongi and Ndombele.
Yeah, I mean, you can't come for me for having De Bruyne when you put Ndombele.
I can. I can.
14 games. 14
Actually,
games.
I hate
Listen.
it here, man. I hate it here.
Ability-wise, he's better than Pogba. Not to mention he's just turned 24, young buck. Bro, transition
I think
play,
isn't
Jamie and
Tielemans
Dan, do you-
younger?
same age, I think. Or Tielemans might be a year older. Bro, transitional play, in terms of skill and beating players, his final ball's very good, can have a little bit of improvement. He's first for me.
Tielemans
There's
actually
definitely
younger.
some. Cool. There's by a year, 6 months.
Oh, yeah.
There's definitely a form of Spurs bias in there, a little bit, just a little bit,
What do you mean, a little
A
bit?
little bit.
just a little bit. But yeah, Tongi, bro. Watch his compilations.
His compilations
God.
with 14 games. You got a lot to pick from. For me, Tielemans is so underrated. And I feel like if he did play for a top 6 club, we might be talking about him more.
He does, though. Leicester are the new top 6 club.
Yeah. They're replacing Arsenal.
But I mean, I'm not a stat man, but 3 goals, 6 assists as a box-to-box midfielder is very decent.
What's that this season?
Last season, and then this season he's got 4 goals.
Yeah.
For a box-
He's
for
got
a box-to-box
technique.
midfielder.
He's got bags of technique.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
so
yeah,
good.
yeah.
I feel like that's
I
not
like
an extremely disputable one.
It's not, but it is a bit
First
I don't
it
know,
is a-
over Pogba.
first
they're
a
not
bit, like-
first. You shouldn't write him first.
But I
Over
just think
Tongi
he's.
as well.
I just think
That's
he's made.
personal to you, though, because you like Tielemans.
Yeah, if
And I know
he
you've said it before that you do really like Tielemans, but
if he's in that United
Not in
team,
like a
does he
no
make more of a
homo way,
difference than Pogba? And for me,
The
probably.
thing is, for me, with
just
Pogba,
based
I
on the fact that
really
Pogba
don't
hasn't
think
made a difference to that United team, really.
Pogba hasn't done
Pogba-
anything consistently to be near my top 5. In my
If there's going
opinion.
to be
Pogba's-
any more Paul Pogba hate, I'm going to leave the call because he's not around.
I think Pogba's
What has
more
he
of a
done- what has
creator
he
than
really done though?
Pogba's more of a creator than Tielemans.
I mean, he has one of your.
Yeah, but I feel like Tielemans is. Pogba's a bit lazier defensively.
You say
Pogba's such a
Yeah.
good
has won
tackler.
the Europa League.
Listen, Charlie, if you're bro, Charlie, speak to me with your face, bro. What's this? I'm reading your name. What's going on? But,
So Charlie, you've got Ndombele in your list, but you don't have Pogba.
Yeah.
Ndombele is better.
You've got Ward Prowse
I've
in
got
your
him
list, but you don't have Pogba.
Yeah, come.
Yeah. Dan,
You
you
had
didn't have Fernandinho in
you
your
had
top 5
Bissouma. You don't
CDMs.
have Pogba.
I didn't have Basuma, I took him out, remember?
You had him initially.
You
'cause I
had him
forgot
over
about
Pogba.
Tielemans.
So would your argument be
Yeah, I always had him over Pogba.
you'd rather Ward Prowse
So
than
even
Pogba?
still, you still think Basuma's better than Pogba?
Well, Pogba, in terms of consistency,
I'm
Pogba
telling
has
you, because we
not
can't see his face,
done
I'm
anything.
convinced that's Graham Souness.
Graham Souness'
No,
image has just come up on
I
screen.
just don't think he's done enough at United. One, to justify how much he
I agree with that.
costs.
But
Two,
like I said,
that the team he's playing in, how good he was at Juventus. You look at Basuma, he's come out of nowhere, and he's one of the better midfielders in the league at Brighton.
Okay, so if you don't think Pogba's done enough at United, why do you think that Ndombele's done enough at Spurs to get in there when he's only played like 8 good games?
It's
Every
not
game
played
he
8
plays,
good
he
games
shows-
though, because
Yeah,
we've said
immense
this so many
quality.
times. If you watch,
Dan, how many
if you
good games
watch
has
him-
Ndombele played? for
You lot
Spurs?
still watch
Realistically.
Spurs. Yeah, Dan
I
watches
do
Spurs a
watch
little bit. Yeah,
Spurs.
Dan watches Spurs a little bit. Jamie, you don't watch
He
Spurs.
has
I watch
glimpses.
Spurs
He
as
has
much as Dan
glimpses.
watches Spurs.
He has glimpses in every game.
Jamie, I'm not
But
convinced you watch football.
I can't say he's up there.
You
up
had
there.
Mctominay 5th. Don't tell me I'm convinced
Listen,
you
I
don't watch
changed it.
football when you've got fucking Mctominay
I
in your
changed it, I
list of
changed it.
box-to-box midfielders.
Scott McTominay. He's
Listen,
just
the
terrible.
real-
That is
the real-
terrible.
The real scouts.
in my opinion, that's the worst shout of them all.
I'd like
McTominay
the
even
viewers.
being
I'd like the viewers to tell us whose list's the best,
Listen,
and then
United
we'll say
fans,
who doesn't watch football.
United fans.
You took him out. You took him out of
Yeah, but
embarrassment.
still, he's honourable mention. It wasn't out of embarrassment.
Do we
because
do?
I
Should we
forgot
do the
about
honourable
Yuri.
mentions?
But before we do that, I just want to say again, my list is based on ability. Episode.
What, so Scott McTominay's the
Scott
fifth best
McTominay.
technical midfielder
He's just a
in the
player.
league.
You might as well have Matty Longstaff if you're going to do that.
Yeah, it's a good
Um,
shout.
Honourable mention is John McGinn.
John
And
McGinn,
Wissart.
I had, and
Yeah.
Geezer. Conor Gallagher at West Brom, 'cause he's been their only good player all season.
All right,
Um,
then. He's not even our player.
True.
Ruben Neves, I had,
Yeah,
Moutinho.
based on previous seasons. Not really.
Yeah.
One of you man will say Jorginho. I will disagree.
I didn't have Georgie.
Andre Gomez,
I don't rate him.
Kovacic, maybe.
Kovacic had a
yeah,
terrible
yeah.
game the other day, but he's decent.
Yeah,
I had
He's
Sissoko,
honourable
obviously.
he's been all right.
Even Mason Mount's turning
Harry
into more of a
Winks.
box-to-box.
We're
I'd
not
say
sleeping Harry Winks
yeah,
anymore.
Mason Mount, because he's
Yeah,
not going
yeah,
to be in my
Mason
top
Mount.
5 attacking midfielders.
Would you not
Hit the
say
valve and all of that.
Mason Mount and De Bruyne are playing fairly similar positions?
Nah, Mason Mount's been playing in like a 2 with Kanté
Recently, yeah, Mason Mount's been dropped back, but you've got to think De Bruyne played as a false 9 the other day. I'm not saying that's what he's
Yeah,
played
he
all
did.
season, but like,
The thing is, though, at the end
Had
of
a
the
good game
day,
as well.
I feel like whichever list De Bruyne was going to go in, he's going to be top regardless.
Yeah,
I don't blame you
yeah.
for putting him top if you're going to
Yeah.
count him as a box to box.
I'll also say
that's
this,
the thing. I
Charles.
was really unsure as to whether to put him as a 10 because the
I'll
way
also say-
he plays defensively, he tracks back
when-
just as much as any box to box.
When David Silva was there as well, he was more of a box-to-box because Silva was more
And
of
that
the
was only
attacking midfielder.
until last season.
Yeah, that's that. So I agree with that to some extent. But
It just means your top 5
It's going to be harder.
10s this next week is going to be
Yeah, a lot
Yeah.
harder.
Yeah. You don't have to have Dele Alli in that.
on that note, we'll move on to the second part. So on to part 2. It's the personal review, and we've decided because Blues and West Brom are both absolutely shite. Me and Jamie are going to go bar for bar, line for line, just about how disappointed we are. Lord of the Mics. Jamie, I'll let you go first.
we're shit. Damn. What more can I say than that? Like, what do you want me to say? We're fucking awful.
Should we do it more as like a counselling session? I
If you
understand
want.
because we
Jamie, get off your chest, bro.
Hi,
Yeah.
hi lads. My name's Jamie. I'm a West Brom fan. And we're fucking
hi
shit.
Jamie.
Hi, Jamie.
Have you
Hi,
got anything outstanding you'd like to say first?
Well, I'll pull up my tweet that I made the other day.
While you do that, do you
which
want me
was-
to do
Yeah,
my
go
line?
on, go on.
You know, it's my sorry, Dan. It's my highlight of the fixtures on the weekend when West Brom playing. I go to my timeline and Jamie's there, Twitter fingers, has a big paragraphs. I love reading it.
Hi everyone. I'm Dan. I'm a Birmingham fan.
Well done.
Hi
Hi,
everyone. We in our last 6 games have lost 5, drawn 1. we've conceded 14 goals.
And you're now
And
below
scored-
Cov in the league
We
as well.
scored 3, and now we're below the team that rent our stadium.
Sorry to hear that, Dan.
Thanks, Jamie. Have you got your tweet up?
Yeah, so my tweet was basically outlining the fact that the thing that has
No passion.
probably annoyed me the most about Allardyce so far is that we're getting absolutely spanked game in, game out. Literally bent over and fucking spanked. Yet, in the aftermatch interview, we'll just stand there and make a joke about, like, oh, if we had Jack Grealish, we'd stay up. Like, why would you...
That was some
Why would you
stupidness.
Why would you stand there and make like stupid remarks like that? That obviously, if we had Grealish, we'd fucking have a better chance of staying up. Why stand there and make remarks like that instead of like fucking give us some sort of like hope? At least.
Yeah, it doesn't.
No,
fill you with a
I
lot of hope.
genuinely think with Allardyce, he's out of a job. West Brom are going, look, we'll give you X amount of money if you just come in so we can get Bilic out. He's gone, yeah, why not? He's come in, he's collecting the bag, he's going to piss off at the end of the season when you go down. That's what's going to happen.
From an outside
What
looking
do you mean?
in,
When you
right?
signed Allardyce, I agreed with you because I thought they obviously just signed Allardyce on the thing of he keeps teams up and it's that sort of panic, bring him in. But I don't feel like he's going to do any, and he's shown he's not really doing any better than. If
He's
anything,
doing worse than
Bilic.
Bilic.
He was doing
Yeah.
I think we've conceded. How many have we conceded the last like 4 games? I think we've conceded like 14 goals in the last 4 games. And then that's more. I think Allardyce has conceded more goals in the games that he's been in charge than Bilic had all season.
And that's crazy because Allardyce is brought in to shut up shop and defend, but he's conceded more. So
exactly. And it's like when we drew against Liverpool, everyone was like, "Oh yeah, this is where it's gonna like be a turn for us." But Bilic drew against City, and then the game before that we lost like 5-0 or whatever it was. So it's just because we drew against Liverpool doesn't mean anything. Like it's just ridiculous. People get too carried away.
Do you think it's a big element of your team's not good enough as well?
Oh, 100%. I've said it all season. We've came into this season with 10 championship players in our starting 11. Mm-hmm. And that's me saying that Pereira's a Premier League player, which I think he is. If he was in any other team, he'd outline how good he is. But because he's playing with 10 championship players, it's impossible.
You've got Gallagher as well now.
Yeah, Gallagher came in and he's probably been our best player of the season so far.
What's happened to Diangana? I know you was raving about him before this season.
He's shit.
He's awful. I think I did say it though last season at some point.
Yeah, where on one of the podcasts, I think he said he's a championship player.
It's too soon for him to be catapulted into the Premier League as one of our star players to try and keep us. If he's only 21, and he's had half a season. He had half a season in the Championship last season. 24, I think.
So you've got all these old heads like Livermore, obviously Sam Allardyce, one of the most experienced managers, and then throwing young players in, expecting them to do everything, and basically carry the team to stay up. When you've got players like
you say Livermore,
when you've got players like Sawyer's still in the team.
Yeah.
The thing is though, when you've got players like that in the team, like Sawyer's, and you can name your whole back four, probably apart from Ivanovic, but it's like trying to. I'm trying to think of an analogy, but it's like trying to drive a car when you've got. No, it's like trying to run when you've got someone pulling you back. That's what it is. You've got Pereira, Diangana, Gallagher, who could all be competent players if they had a decent striker in front of them, but that's pointless if your defence is shit.
See, the thing is with Diangana, like, if anybody watched him last season, Dan, you probably did. Last season, he wasn't ever scared. As soon as he got the ball, he'd turn and try and beat his man. He'd run at his man. And 9 times out of 10, he'd beat them. But this season, he gets the ball and it's like he's scared. It's like he turns around, sees a Premier League defender and thinks, oh, shit. So turns back and passes it backwards or just loses the ball.
So
and that's what it's been the whole season. I just think it's too soon for him to be playing in the Premier League.
He's a right wing Harry Winks with a high top.
Pretty much, yeah. But he has got potential. I think a couple of seasons in the Championship and he will come up and be a decent winger.
And I think if he had a bit of confidence, it's hard to have confidence in a team where you're just getting smashed every week.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, and your manager's not
especially when
backing
you're
you.
younger as well. I feel like
Yeah.
as a young player, when you're
Mm.
getting smashed every week, it's a lot harder to have that sort of that fighting mentality. You don't have the experience.
I mean, when we signed him, he didn't actually want to leave West Ham. He made it known that he wanted to stay at West Ham and fight for his place instead of leaving. So
Yeah.
that probably didn't help
You
as
can
well.
see
He's
why.
coming to
You can see
he
why.
came to a club that he probably didn't really want to be playing for. But if that's the case, he's got to make a name for himself this season so that he can try and get out of it. But
As
if
well,
anything,
you've
he's
got
made it worse for himself. No one's going to want him
now.
now.
Got in at West Ham.
Exactly.
the thing is that you've got, like you said, he could become a decent winger in the Prem, but when you're trying your all, when you're giving everything to try and pull a team through Pereira and Diangana, and then your manager just comes out with, if I have Grealish, this team's got a bigger chance of staying up. What does that do for a young player's confidence?
Yeah,
plays in the
I
same
mean,
position
that's
as
what
Grealish?
It's our players are probably looking at Allardyce thinking, all right, well, obviously you don't think absolutely anything of us. So,
Yeah.
but there is players in there that could put up a fight to keep us up, like Pereira and like Diangana, but it's done now because they're playing with no confidence at all, and Pereira is going to get drove out of the club because he's going to be playing a role that he's going to be pretty much playing as a right wing back, which is not the role for Pereira.
That plays to his weaknesses and not his strengths.
Yeah, exactly.
Pointless.
And back to what you said, Charlie, we've got experienced players like Ivanovic, Livermore, Gibbs. Livermore and Gibbs both have shown this season that just even if they are leaders, they're not very good ones at it because they've both got sent off in games where it was vital for them to stay on the pitch. Against Everton, we were drawing at the time, and Kieran Gibbs stupidly pushes James in the face. Livermore against Villa,
like I said,
dives into a challenge on the halfway line that he didn't need to be diving into, and it's just, what is the point? Our players just don't want to be there by the looks of it.
It's even frustrating as a neutral because watching players like how good Pereira was last season, is even just his numbers that he put up, let alone some of the things he did. And then you've got players that should be leading by example, players that have got Premier League experience. Gibbs was at Arsenal, Livermore's been at Spurs, Ivanovic, Chelsea, all big clubs. And they're the ones
was
that
terrible the other day.
Yeah, they're the ones that are to blame.
I've seen a lot of people saying that his contract should just be terminated in January just to save the.
Oh yeah, he's made no difference.
Jamie was ranting and raving about him when you brought him in.
Yeah,
to be
I
fair,
was saying it
didn't seem like a bad signing. To be fair, even we
no, we said we agreed as well, but not to the same extent, obviously.
It's to a point now though where you look at any player on the pitch, none of them are performing. Not even Pereira, to be fair.
I felt sorry for O'Shea.
I can't defend him for once.
O'Shea was terrible, but I don't know why he's playing him left back or left of a three or wherever he's supposed to be playing him because he just can't. He looks lost on the left hand side. I don't know.
Yeah,
is he left-footed?
I think
he's right.
Bro.
No, I was gonna say he looks so uncomfortable the other day.
I think O'Shea needs to be playing in either a back three on the right or centre back in a two.
Yeah, I like him in a two. He's all right. Him in a joy, he did okay, but not in a three. He just looked out of play. Saka.
I think we had to go to a wing back though because Gibbs got injured in the warm up against who's it against? Leeds, and Townsend's obviously still out, so the only other option we have is Lee Peltier.
Lee,
and that just I said to you the other day. No, I said to you in the chat the other day as well. Apparently, we had 3 deals done and pretty much completed, but then they fell through because the players couldn't get work permits. My brother was telling me the other day that apparently there's certain points that players get on their for their work permits. So it goes from international caps, senior, international caps, senior and youth, and then just senior club caps. So if these players that we were trying to sign didn't have those points on their to get a permit because they hadn't got enough senior caps for their club, who the fuck were we trying to sign?
Also though, you get points they have to be in the top percentage quartile of the whole squad. So say your squad's average wage is 25 a week. You'd have to offer them probably 35, 40 a week for them to get points. They have to be like known as a crucial player for the team. Like I remember Villa trying to get, it might have been Wesley. They ended up having to
so
pay
we
pretty
must
much
have
as
been
much as they
signing
pay
some.
Grealish.
We must have been trying to sign like either 3 young players that haven't really broke through at their clubs, or 3 absolute flops.
It must have just been unknowns, complete unknowns.
But
I don't know
even
whether-
still,
the
you'd
thing
have
is, I don't
thought
know
they would have
whether
had the
that-
senior caps.
Yeah.
I don't know whether signing unknowns is even a bad thing, because you've got
That's
the
what I want.
experience.
That's
players.
what I want.
It depends how
That's
much.
what
And
that's what we
It
need.
depends how much you sign them
It's
for. If you're
obviously
getting
to an
shrewd
extent.
buys,
Yeah, it obviously works also to extents, because if you were to buy a player that's never broke into the first team and you want them to come and keep you up, it's not realistic. But I feel like it's the same as if you sign, like you've already got Livermore, Gibbs, Ivanovic. They've arguably been your worst performers this season, and they're the ones with the most Prem experience at the top level. So I don't think that signing unknowns is bad, but if they've not got enough points in terms of senior caps for their club, it can't be good.
That's what I'm saying. I can't imagine who they're trying to sign. But obviously, I've told you that we've been linked with Hamza Chowdhury, who is a good player, but to get us out of this dogfight we're in, he's not the type of player you need. Because for me,
it's a shame, really.
he's a young player. He's a young player who hasn't had any experience in like fighting relegation.
But,
so he'd come in, we'd concede a goal, and his head would drop like everyone else's.
But I think if say you didn't have Big Sam and say it was Bilic, I'd have said you just bite the bullet at Chowdhury, because at least he'll make him play.
Yeah, 'cause you've got nothing to lose. You've got nothing to lose.
He'd have made him play. Him, Gallagher, and Pereira as a 3 in midfield would have been actually quite a decent midfield. It's young, but at least it'll be energetic. Like you'll take the games to teams more. Whereas I feel like you lose something when you have Livermore, because as soon as he's isolated 1-on-1 in midfield, he's had it.
Yeah, one player I'd like to sign is Etienne Capoue. I think he's still a very good player, and obviously he suffered relegation with Watford last season, so he knows what it's like.
He was their best player last season.
I think he's a very competent footballer.
Etienne Capoue went to Villarreal, didn't he?
Was he gone?
Yeah, I swear he signed the other day.
No.
Yeah, so that's out the window.
I mean, if that's your bar, I'll do mine.
Oh, cheers, Charles.
No,
I just thought I'm not a stat man, but for this,
you said this 3 times this episode.
I'm not a
You
stat.
might just be a stat man, right?
I might be a secret stat man, but you all know I'm not really. I don't like just reading off stats, but I feel like to justify how bad this actually is, I'm gonna have to bring stats into it. So I apologise.
Everyone get the popcorn out.
Our joint top scorer, 2 of our joint top scorers this season are Harley Dean and Mark Roberts. For those who don't know who Harley Dean and Mark Roberts are, they're our centre-back pairing. They've both got 2 each. Those are our joint top scorers.
What's going on? Obviously, I've not been watching Blues. What's going on with Sanchez, Bella, Lecco?
So Lecco has been in and out of the team, but who did we play last? Blackburn. He was arguably our best player. The only sort of bright spot we had, and I think Jamie could tell you, he looks like Bambi on ice when he's running with the ball. Like he doesn't know what he wants to do, but it sort of works. Yeah, kind of. But like in the Championship, that sort of works, because the defenders aren't obviously going to be the cleverest like they are in the Prem, where they can read the game that well. So it sort of works for him. So I kind of don't mind that. Sanchez has still been our best player. He's still somehow, even when we lose 4-0, he picks the ball up, takes on 4 players. And then, unfortunately for him, Jukovic's up front.
Yeah.
So another stat I've got is we've created 18 chances in the entire season. To compare that with Blackburn, who beat us 2-0 on Saturday, they've created double.
Oh, what, you played 20-odd games?
20-odd games, we created 18 chances. We only have an average of 2 shots on target per game.
I mean, I don't think we got much more than that, to be fair.
But we win games, though. That's the difference.
Not to make excuses, because obviously we haven't been good enough. But Stephen Warnock, who's a former Villa player and I think a Villa fan, said on Quest, the EFL show, it seems like referees are being biased against Birmingham.
As if it's gone to Quest nowadays, man. It breaks my heart that next season I'll be watching us on Quest.
But Stephen Warnock, who used to play for Villa, has said it's getting to the point where I feel like they're being biased. For the first goal on Saturday, Sanchez has gone round 2 players, been clipped from behind, no penalty. That's been given against us about 6 or 7 times this season. No penalty. They go at the other end and score 1-0 down. It's little fine margins. I feel like we'd be, maybe I'd say 4 or 5 points better off, which still isn't good enough for the players we have. But 4 or 5 points puts us above Cov, so I don't have to listen to Charlie.
Puts you 1 point above Cov.
I don't care. It doesn't. It means you're not in my ear. But
well, I am for now.
You are for now. Just in terms of what we need in January, me and my dad were talking about this, and a lot of people are saying, "Oh, we definitely need a centre back. We definitely need a full back." I actually don't think we do. If we can get 2 just shrewd signings from abroad, like Sanchez, we got Sanchez on a free. We've thrown so much money at players like Hotter for 6 million, who's shit. Sunjic, we've paid 6 million for, and I like Sunjic, but he hasn't won a tackle in 6 games as a ball-winning midfielder. So what we're saying is the 4 of us would have had a better run of form, because at least
is that actually a stat?
I swear.
Do you know how mad that is?
I'll read it. I'll read the
Jesus.
full tweet out to you. But there's an account called Blues Breakdown.
You know how bad that is.
That's what I mean. That's disgraceful. I couldn't believe it when I read it. But it seemed like, because we're playing so badly, it seemed like he was doing okay, because there's so many players around him who are doing worse. But yeah, 6 games.
That's unbelievable.
The thing is, though, you signed Hotter for 6 mil, did you say?
Yeah.
Is he still there?
That's a lot for you,
Blues.
6 mil.
No, he's at Villa.
Oh yeah, he went from Blues to Villa.
He went from us to Villa.
Yeah, but the thing is, that's mad though. I'm 99% confident of this. I don't think Cov have spent over 6 million in the past 10 years. And
that's what I mean.
In the league.
That's in the Championship, really. Apart from the Leeds, the Wolves, arguably the West Brom, but West Brom haven't really spent. But you don't have to pay to win the league. You have to make shrewd signings and mix them with Championship proven players. And it looks like we did want to do that.
That's what we did last
It's like I've said this many times. Bournemouth's starting 11 against us was 93 million. If they don't win the league, that is appalling.
Yeah.
Considering the other squads, even Norwich's squad.
I mean, Norwich's squad isn't side though.
They've got a good side, but I wouldn't say it's anywhere near Bournemouth at the minute. If they were to both go on, well, they lose Skip at the end of the season. That's their whole backbone gone pretty much.
Yeah, but if we're talking about
Wendy is going to move away.
They'll go.
I know, yeah,
Norwich.
but Bournemouth have a.
they
will go
on
on
to the end of the season.
But
For me,
who's
the best striker in the league in the Championship? Really? I don't know how he's doing this season.
Oh no, he's got 11 and 3.
Would you not say Max Aarons is the best right back as well?
100%.
Yeah, no argument.
Buendia
is one of the best creative players in the league.
Also, I've got to apologise, because I was picking up Colin, Pedersen, etc. before the start of the season. For me, Pedersen can go in January. Last season we had apparently a £5 million offer from Watford, and at the time he was our best player, so I was like, no. If someone gives us 2.5, he can go, because I can't legislate for. It must have been 3 or 4 games in a row where the winger, and you don't have to be clever to do this, the wingers come out to the what's it even called? The sideline. It's not the byline. What do you even call the throwing line?
The sideline.
It's a sideline. It's just a sideline. The wingers come out to the sideline. He's going nowhere. Pedersen's gone with him, and the wingers just ran around the back of him. I was like, "Are you playing in primary school?" Like George Friendly's 34 years of age.
Primary school.
George Friendly's 34 years of age and has had a better season at left back than Pedersen. And if that doesn't say anything, if we can get 2.5 million for him, he can go. I've got a list of people that can go. So he has to go. Jukovic can go. Hogan can go. San Jose, we signed him on a free. I feel like he's still got something to give, but he can go if he wants, because he's on 25 grand a week, and so far I've seen him lose the ball more than.
That's 25 grand.
Oh,
he's on 25 grand.
He's on 25.
Do you want me to start showing my legs again?
That's more than the entire Dan. That's more than the entire cost squad. I'm pretty sure.
And did he play against?
Let me just say, creative players tend to lose the ball creative players tend to lose the ball more than anyone
Nah,
else on the pitch because they try things.
That was a dig out of anger. Cavs actually is quite good.
He did.
I'd
great
rather have
against us,
Cavs than San Jose midfield. Jukovic, Hogan, San Jose. I'd
San
argue.
Jose as a sitter, Cabs as a creator. What's going on here now?
Listen, I can do the box to box thing. I can play as an 8.
Roberts can go,
Versatile.
even though he's our top scorer. He can go. He's shit. Colin can go because clearly there's something wrong with his core because we've had 6 managers and we've come 18th, 19th, or 20th with every manager with the same core of players. And by that account, Pedersen can go.
So basically, everyone can go. Dan, you just need 11 new players.
But we're not going to be any worse if we do that. I'd rather us do that than anything. For me,
Yeah, but you can't do that mid-season.
No, we can't. But in the summer, now I'd get rid of 4 or 5 though. Because what's the point of keeping them? It's not disrupting the squad harmony. Because clearly something's wrong. That if they go,
who would you get in? Have you got any names that you'd like to bring in?
Josh Madger from Bordeaux, heavily linked with. I'd take Jack Clark on loan because at least he's a different option to what we've got.
Jack Clark, from what I've been reading in the papers, and
that sounds like he's going to you.
Yeah, sounds like he's coming in.
Yeah, that's a good signing. But we're not desperate for a winger. We need a holding midfielder to play next to. I mean, fuck it, we need 2 holding midfielders if one of them can't even win a tackle. But we need Madger.
Is there any realistic names you'd take?
Yeah, Madger.
You might not have been linked with, but
we've trying to think. Are there many players out there right now that will come to us? Really, you look at us in the league.
Well,
look at the form.
thing is,
do you think? Oh yeah, I want to go there. Unless we threw money at them.
Yeah, what are you signing for though? Are you signing to push for playoffs, or are you just signing to improve?
For me, we need for striker wise.
You ain't making playoffs.
No, of course not.
No, I'm not talking about this.
He means
season.
He means
obviously in the next 5 seasons.
The long term goal, I'd say within the next 2 or 3 seasons, we want to be say 10th, 9th, 8th, not playoffs. 10 years.
The thing is, though, I feel like the signings you already made. Some of the signings you've already made are a bit. If you want to push, because as a club, you are one of the bigger clubs in the league, and you should be pushing up there with the owners you've got as well. They've got money to spend.
Charlie, you boosted the ego.
No, we are. We are. When you look at the clubs in the league, we are like you look at Brentford, who are 3rd. We're a bigger club than Brentford by far.
So
QPR.
many teams.
Don't know about
you giving that side? I feel like we're not.
You signed Riley McGree from the Australian League.
That's what I mean.
How is that a competent signing if you want to push to improve?
You look at, so for me, the players that we've got at the moment that are of the ability of a, say, top 8 championship club. Sanchez, I don't know why he's playing for us. I say that every week. Why is he playing for us?
I'll take him over Lamella.
He's so good. Sunjic,
the thing is, though,
when he actually wants to play.
Cabs has never seen him play and he's like, yeah, fuck it.
He saw the goal against Cardiff.
No, the thing is though with Sanchez, as much as he is your best player, there's only so much you can do.
That's what I mean, but that's what I'm saying.
It's impossible for a player like that to perform when you've got Jukovic and Hogan up front.
I was about to say we need for striker. We've got 2 strikers that are 30, 31 years old who have both got 2 goals all season. Jukovic has missed more big chances than I think I've ever seen from a striker. Like, I had to watch Cameron Jerome for 4 years, and Jukovic is worse. And I never thought, when Cameron Jerome left, I never thought I'll have to see someone worse than that in my life. He's terrible. And the fans that think he should be part of this team shouldn't watch football. Unless you might as well go and watch head tennis if you want to watch players like Jukovic.
Would you take Robson Connor?
No. We need a young, as much as I think Robson Connor would actually make a difference for half a season, but we need a young, fast striker who's going to run into the channels and at least bring a
Tyler
bit of
Walker
energy.
down.
We need a Tyler Walker. I can't believe you got him for so cheap.
600k we got him for.
That's ridiculous. The fact that we've paid more for, I don't even want to work out the maths. 5 times that amount for Mark Roberts. He's just incredible.
Would you take Raheem Harper or Sam Field?
I'd take Raheem Harper at the moment, especially at the moment, because we
not
just
take
need
Sam Field.
I like Sam Field, but we've got too much of Sam Field. Like, we've got too many Sam Fields in our team.
Nah, you just said you need a decent holding midfielder.
We need a decent holder. But he's more of like a. When I've watched him, he's been more of a ratter than a. Maybe we do need just
Corley
two
Woodrow.
ratters and just make it horrible for teams. Corley Woodrow take.
Ratters.
Like Kiftenveld, I don't rate Kiftenveld at all, but at least he kicks people off the park. Like the 2 games we actually won, seems like donkeys years ago. We kicked teams. We made it look difficult for people. I don't think we're the type of team that are going to bring centre backs back, pay 150 passes, and knock the ball in. We just
all
need
you
to
have
be
to
horrible.
really do as a baller to get in Dan's good books is kick a couple players, scrape the studs down a couple Achilles.
But also, like I was saying in the chat the other day, me and Jamie were talking about this. The problem is with the Ratters is they can't play a 5-yard pass at the level we're watching football. Like Højbjerg is a good ratter, and he is a ratter, but at least he can pass the ball competently.
Someone enlighten me as to exactly what a ratter is.
A ratter's like
someone who would kick.
someone annoying. They're on your heels. They're pressing all the time.
All right, cool. Just an aggressive DM.
So what Højbjerg is, but Højbjerg can pass the ball. That's why he's playing for you.
Yeah.
Like,
but the thing is, when you have a player like that, it's similar to. It's like Hamer. Like Dan, the amount of times Hamer kicks players every single game. He's been suspended twice already this season, but he's one of the best technical players in the league.
yeah,
You need a player
someone
like
like
that.
that we need just to go next to Sunjic, at least make things horrible. I'd start Terrell every game. Terrell, Bella, and Sanchez after play.
I don't know. I saw you slating Terrell in the chat the other week.
Oh, because he does my head in sometimes, but he's too. Him and Halilovic have to rotate because Halilovic, he's quality. At least the only shining light for me is we've got some quality. We've got some quality.
You've got quality to play it into no one.
Exactly.
The thing is, you've got quality.
Get a striker in.
Deadwood.
There's too much Deadwood. So I'm going to have to sit paying £10 a week for the next 4 months and just come on here and say, unfortunately, we need a striker. Unfortunately, we're just not.
What teams are below you that strikers you take off there?
I mean, there's a lad at Plymouth that I
table.
was saying to Charlie last night that I'd take, called Luke Jeffcott. He's got 12 in 17. He's only 20.
The thing is,
in League One to score 12 in 17 at 20. You're laughing. Ivan Toney did exactly the same last season. And Cavs is saying to me before we record, "Oh, look, I like Ivan Toney."
Yeah,
would you take Dembele from Peterborough?
No. I don't think he's good enough.
The thing is, though, if you look at teams that are below Birmingham, apart from
you're not picking out many.
Yeah, there's only 6. Apart from Rotherham and Wickham, who shouldn't even be in the league anyway, they haven't got any decent strikers. Arguably, Derby Forest shouldn't even be down there. They're not going to be looking.
Yeah,
And I don't want Colin Kazim.
And the only
Richards.
teams left to
Put some respect on his name. Always disrespecting him.
No, he bagged against you. Why don't you want him?
He bagged against us
He
as
bagged
well.
too.
He bagged for one, but I mean, I'd take a Forest when we played him.
You take
No
Graben
one.
every day of the week, but
He's 33. We don't need.
The thing is,
say we needed.
you would take
think-
Lewis Graben. You would take Lewis Graben.
Oh, if we got rid of Hogan and Jukovic, I'd take Graben. If we got rid of Jukovic, I wouldn't take Graben. I'd take a little young striker who's going to run the channels. Someone when we signed Isaac Vassell from Luton or wherever it was, at least we look like a better team because he'd run the channels and we'd progress up the pitch. We're so slow going forward.
What about if Sheffield Wednesday go down, Windass or Patterson?
I'd take Windass definitely, but if West Brom are after him, we've got no chance, have we? Clearly, because who would I rather go to right now, West Brom or Blues? Even as a Blues fan, I think fucking hell. Do I want to go play for that shit show? Not about West Brom.
There was reports that we did want Josh Windass, but there's also been reports that we wanted Duncan Watmore from Middlesbrough. So I'm not sure how true these reports are.
There's a report today.
In any way, shape, or form.
No, it's obviously just preparing for the Championship already.
There's a report today saying we're linked with Dominic Ball from QPR as a centre mid. Slash centre back who probably would make a difference, but it doesn't fill me with any ambition. I feel like we've shown, considering we've bought in 45.5 million in 2 years worth of transfers, and we've shown no ambition. I get there's been
45.5 million.
Yeah, so 25 off Bellingham, 15 now, 15 at the start with Chow, which is 40, and then 2.5 in instalments because of Premier League games, and then 2.5 for Hotter.
Where's that all gone?
So, yeah, where
Exactly.
you spend
So,
that on?
so you think we've got no
That's a
outstanding
good
debt?
proper money for you, though.
We've got no outstanding debt anymore. We did. The pandemic's happened. I wonder how much that took a toll. I doubt 45 million's worth. So there's clearly money there. We spent 3 million in the summer. There's clearly money there. It's just whether you take the gamble.
Is it another case of
You
if
got
you
no
start
choice.
spending the money, though, financial fair play will just bite you in the arse again?
But financial fair play is income versus expenditure.
Yeah,
And we've had the last time we got done for it, we had no income. We hadn't sold anyone for anything. And now we've got so much income. Like Cov weren't renting our stadium then, and I assume Cov are paying a fair amount for 2 seasons worth of our stadium, which is more income.
The only thing that we're doing is putting money in your pockets. That's the only thing that we're doing.
That's what I mean. So clearly there's something there for us to do, but it's whether the owners are scared of doing it or I don't know. It's just frustrating.
I feel it's more owners of like that who, because 45 million for a championship club, like even just take Cov for an example, that pays the players' wages for about 8 years. If we kept the same team for 8 years, you could pay all of those players for 8 years just off that sale of a 16-year-old. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And the owners just refuse to back the team because they don't care about the club. That's funny what I think is the bottom line.
Yeah, it's funny that people are crank out because, I mean, it's almost if they haven't learned from sacking Rowett, sacking Zola, sacking Redknapp, sacking Cottrell, sacking Monk, sacking...
Yeah.
Who else have we had? Pep. 6 managers, and that's since, 2014?
It's like...
pathetic.
I'm going to use Cov as an example again, but when we got Robbins, we had him a long, long time ago. Then he left, and then he came back. We're in League Two, and now we're in the Championship. If you keep Karanka on, give him a project, give him some money, that's when you see whether it's his fault or not.
Yeah, I've got to give him till the end of at least end of next season. Because at the moment, with the current crop of players, we could get Mourinho as a manager, Pep in as his assistant, Klopp in as a sports scientist. Every single manager in the Prem could work for our backroom staff, and we wouldn't get higher than 18th of that team. Because it's just something's wrong with it. Something's clearly wrong because we haven't got a single manager who could get us out of it.
It also
I'm pretty sure we're in the exact same position. But we're
the lack of
Blues and West Brom are in the same position, but in different leagues.
Yeah, it's just we're where you are, but a league, but exactly.
Yeah, it's just a different level.
We'll go down.
I don't think we've got the money to spend. We're
in serious trouble if we don't start
scoring goals. You could really go down.
Oh yeah, we're down there. Like I watched the Derby. I mean, you all watched the first half an hour of the Derby game. We just looked like a National League side.
Remember at the start of the season with predictions, and I said that Blues are relegation candidates, and Dan was like, "No, they're not at all."
Yeah.
I don't know what you thought. I must not have been there that day.
Yeah, and as well, you look at the table. QPR have got a game in hand. They go above you if they win it. Sheffield Wednesday
are on fire.
Forest are only 1 point behind you. Sheffield Wednesday are picking up a lot. Derby are picking up as well. And you've only got Rotherham and Wickham, and 3 teams go down a lot too.
We're lucky.
I feel like your favourite candidate.
Could be that third team. We're lucky, really. We've got an easy game on Sunday. So
who you got?
City away.
Oh, City.
At the end of the day,
I want to have a look at some of your upcoming fixtures.
I can't believe it's been 40 minutes, but at the end of the day, to sum it up, Birmingham City and West Brom are both shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got 2 minutes left. Kaz, if you want to say like 5 words to sum up how you're feeling about Spurs at the moment.
So you man had 40 minutes of West Brom and Blues, and you give me
talk
about Tottenham.
I want to gloat about how Cov are above Birmingham.
Yeah, let him
40
do
minutes. Can I not do that?
Probably a good time for you to start talking about Spurs while you're doing
that. So Tottenham Leeds. Sorry, kind of dry lips on YouTube, innit? But 3-0. Charlie, do you want to start?
There's not really much to say about it. It's fairly straightforward. Leeds played their normal.
Sorry, I got big lips on big surface area to cover.
Leeds played their normal high pressure, high intensity attacking football they couldn't finish their chances. I think, were more clinical, and that's why we won the game. It's as simple as that. It's not really a lot. It was fairly straightforward.
They were begging me and Jamie to do a new part, by the way. After
I can't have 1 minute where the thing's counting down.
Yeah, we can't talk about Spurs for 1 minute and then West Ham.
And then you pretty much come out with, we scored 3 goals, Leeds scored 2.
No, we're not finished talking about
it. Let me try and go a bit more in depth then.
We scored first, then we scored again, and then we scored again.
No, but like Charlie said, the way that we all sort of predicted before the game, like the way Leeds play such attacking football, they played into our hands. But I remember watching Mourinho's interview after the game, and I thought, we won 3-0, kept the clean sheet, finally killed off a game. It's been a minute since we've done that. I thought, why does he not look happy? Then I thought about the game a little bit more, and I thought, not only is this the sort of result we expected, considering the way they play and the counter-attacking football we play, but there was definitely signs that, Leeds was so incredibly open at the back. Had we have not scored 3 goals, it would have been embarrassing. So I don't think obviously it's a positive, but I don't think it's necessarily a result for Spurs fans to get on a higher horses, talking about Liverpool drop points and title race. There's no title race, as I've said before, but it's something to build on. Another clean sheet, which is good. We've not kept many.
It's a game that you've got to expect to win. As
Yeah,
a Spurs
yeah,
fan,
it's
if you don't beat
what we
Leeds, you're fuming.
But it's also a game
after the game.
It's a game that top teams have dropped points in there.
Yeah,
I mean, not so far.
But I think it's more so the way we play and the way they play. It's the type of game we should be winning.
Leeds have been relatively poor against the better opposition.
But I think once again,
and they drew. Arsenal. They drew to Arsenal and Man City though.
Yeah, but they got slapped by Chelsea.
They did, yeah.
I think once again it was the Sonny and Kane show in full effect. Kane had a great game. Lovely assist for Son's goal. The penalty was a little bit dubious. It was definitely a foul, but was it outside the box?
I think it was.
I can't lie. After watching the Pogba one, if if that doesn't get given, there's something wrong. I remember we were saying in the group chat after the game about the Pogba penalty that it's soft, but it's a penalty. I watched it again. He just does kick his own foot.
For me, it's not a penalty, Pogba's, but I don't know why. I don't like Dean Smith. I like him sometimes, but when you blame the ref for everything, like he does every time they lose, like why does Douglas Luiz get that tight to him anyway? He's got his back to goal. He's not going anywhere. Yeah. You get tight to him. He's holding him. It's not a penalty, but why do you even give the chance to the ref to make a decision?
You shouldn't put yourself in that situation because footballers more than anyone should know decisions like that are going to get given.
Yeah, Douglas Luiz on the wrong side of him, but he's not. Other than that, he's not done anything wrong. So for that to be given as a pen is harsh. And what you man was saying in the group is it's not a pen, but that's what's given these days. I think it's giving the refs too much leniency. That shouldn't be a thing. That shouldn't be a thing. Yeah, it's not actually a pen.
It's not. Given. I wouldn't even say it's the refs. It's more the people who make the rules for the refs to follow.
But there's not going to be an overhaul of the rules until the end of the season.
Yeah, but nothing in that should be like a change in rules.
What in the rules is that a pen?
Yeah.
If that's anywhere else, if that's anywhere else on the pitch, people they give fouls for it. Even if he has kicked his own leg, they give fouls for that.
Yeah, because obviously they've interpreted it as he's not kicked his own leg, or Douglas Luiz has made it so that he had to
I think
adjust his leg.
He slightly tapped. I think it's his left.
Yeah, he lightly taps his left leg, heel. And he knocks it into his other foot.
I think it's his right, and then he kicks his left calf and then falls over.
So what are we doing here then? So that's a penalty then. So what?
I don't even want to talk about this.
So because there's contact. Yeah, because there's contact.
But going back to Spurs, I think having teams around us drop points like in the fashion that Liverpool did. Obviously, United are in good form. Chelsea have been dropping points. It does annoy me looking back at some of the other games and thinking we should have picked up points in games we drew, or the Leicester game we just got slapped. And that as you might know, I was fuming after that game. The way we turned up with no ambition, no heart, 21 Savage, it's embarrassing.
No passion.
But on to bigger and better things today. Semi-final settings. Tottenham Brentford.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so nervous.
Big vlog from you after the game.
Nervous.
Yeah, I'll most likely do a little match reaction after the game for the TikTok.
Nervous to play Brentford, Charles.
I'm a little bit as well.
If you're not nervous for a cup semi-final, Jamie,
Yeah, but against
What's wrong with
Brentford, if you don't
Yeah.
beat Brentford, it's fucking
Yeah, but
over
we're
for you.
Tottenham. We lost to Colchester in the cup last year. Brentford are
But that's the
arguably
thing.
the one of the better teams. Well, they are one of the
Yeah,
better
but you're
teams.
going to
in
put out a
Championship,
very
arguably the best.
competent team.
Yeah, but
You're
no,
going to
the
be
thing
putting
is,
out a
though,
very
Yeah, but
competent
it's a
team.
cup game.
it's
It's a
easy
one-off
for
cup game.
it's easy for big teams like us to underestimate teams like Brentford. I'm not talking sort of manager, because I don't think Mourinho would. He came out and said this is his biggest game so far as the Spurs manager. But I think there's definitely players in the squad. Obviously, we don't know who's going to start. There's definitely players in the squad that will go into the game thinking, yes, it's a semi-final, but it's Brentford, and sort of expect to
Your
win.
second team
And
should
with that-
comfortably beat Brentford.
No, but they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't. At the end of the day, they should, but they wouldn't. Bro,
No,
Ivan
yeah, that's
Toney,
what they
Ivan
should.
Toney
They
against
should.
Ivan Toney against our back four, our second string back four, Doherty, Ben Davies, Sanchez.
Doherty can't play, can he?
I've been saying
All of those players have.
Ivan Toney is a Premier League striker. When you look at some of the you look at some of the strikers in the Prem. I was saying this from the start of the season. You look at some of the strikers currently in the Prem. He's far better.
The thing is, I can't.
Premier League striker.
I know it's impossible. I know this doesn't really make sense actually, but you can't really call him a Premier League striker until he's done it in the
Exactly.
Prem.
Oh yeah, but you look at
but I'm saying he's.
But I'm saying you look at some of the
I don't
strikers
think
in the Prem.
I
and
don't
put
think
him
he
next to
deserves a chance in the Prem yet, though.
Who would you say?
Aaron,
though,
is he better than Aaron Connolly? Absolutely. By a
Aaron
mile.
Connolly's a.
I like
Aaron
Connolly.
Connolly's
I
not.
think
I like
a
Connolly, but he's a
striker,
better.
though. He's
Tony's a
more
better
of winger.
striker, but he's
Yeah,
playing up front.
I'll
He's
put
starting
More
up front.
players
Jamie.
up front now.
They play-
More players
Play players left of the three. Connolly plays in the centre. If you're, but I'm saying
But the thing
Connolly
is,
has played
if
striker
you
more than
stick-
he's played out wide.
Bro,
regardless of that,
Ivan
if you
Toney
put
might be
Connolly
better
or
than Tammy
Mope-
Abraham. He might be better than Tammy Abraham.
No.
He might
I
be.
don't know. I think they're very similar. They play
If
very
you wa-
similarly
if-
to when
how
Abraham
much have
was
you
in the
watched of
championship.
him?
Who, Tony?
No, yeah, Cabs. How much have you?
Oh.
How much have you watched of Tony?
Here and there, couple compilations.
Couple but yeah,
Listen,
exactly.
I've
This is what I'm
watched
saying.
Tammy. I've watched Tammy. Charlie, don't have a
Yeah.
face right now. Love it. I've watched
Yeah,
Tammy.
What? So
I'm
I
not
can't
saying-
talk. All right.
I'm not saying I've watched Tony a fat lot, but from League One last season to Brentford, and yeah, he's playing well at Brentford, but just because he scored a couple of goals in the Championship doesn't mean, oh yeah, he's definitely a Premier League player. Dwight Gale scored how many goals in the Championship? He's not a Premier League striker.
Neil Mopai is
but-
one of the players that
but-
got mentioned, and the reason he
At
is
the
in
end
the
of the
Prem is
day-
he did it for Brentford.
But at the end of the day, Ivan Toney is someone that our back four should be concerned about tonight.
But I'm
And
looking at.
if
I
we have
don't,
certain
I
players.
don't
like
think
I
if
said,
we
Sanchez.
if we're as the club that we are, if we should be going for getting Champions League every season. We should not be worried about a Championship striker, no matter who they are.
Fabio Silva.
Yeah, that's what that was my
that's
Fabio-
point.
naive. That's incredibly
my
naive to
point,
go into a
Charlie.
game. But then that's the thing. That's goes back to what I was saying about the players. If they have that mindset, we should be concerned about so and so. Then that's how you concede silly goals.
Fabio Silva.
Not really.
Premier League striker
it's better
listed.
to be. It's better to be confident in your own ability, I think, rather than going
Yeah,
into a
there's
game nervous
overconfidence.
about
There's
playing a
overconfidence.
Brentford striker.
And Mourinho came out and said it against, I can't remember what game was it? Europa League, one of the Europa League games that we either lost or drew. And he said there's players on this pitch that think they're better than this level. And that's why we dropped points today. And that's facts. We've got players like that. Winks, Sanchez.
Yeah,
Davies.
I know, but I
They
think
they're
it's.
better than playing against
I think
teams
it's.
like
I
Brentford or
think it's
playing
so
against certain Europa League
pessimistic.
teams.
I think it's so pessimistic to just say, as a club that should be going for Champions League every season, we should be worried about Tony. We shouldn't be worried about him, but we are because that's where we are as a club. Because we've got players like that.
No,
we
that's
shouldn't
just because
be.
you know what Spurs are like, and you know that.
It's pessimistic at all. I'm not here saying I'm worried we're going to lose.
From an
But I
outsider
think
looking in,
you sound more nervous about the game than I do.
from an outsider looking in, Spurs' second team would absolutely rip apart the whole of the Championship.
Yeah.
Players like Vinicius, even Moura.
Our second team shown in the Europa League that they're not that great. Yeah, on paper they look fantastic. Bale, Vinicius, Winks. They've not even got the results in the Europa League to show that they're good enough to rip apart the Championship. They should. But
Yeah, that's
realistically,
what I'm saying.
I still
Just on
think it's
paper,
strikers.
they should, without a doubt.
Yeah, that's
Right.
exactly my point. On paper, we shouldn't
on
be
paper they
worried
should.
about him.
On
but we
paper
are.
they should. On paper they should have walked the Europa League. They didn't a lot of the games.
Sorry to just bring it back. Joel Linton. I would
Yes,
rather have Ivan Toney than
Ivan
Joel
Toney's
Linton.
better than Joe Linton. Facts.
How can you say that though? Because if Joel Linton was in the Championship, he might score 40 goals.
I just don't think he would, considering he scored one in the Prem in 2 seasons.
How do you know that Ivan Toney wouldn't do that?
But it's not for me. It's not just about goals. It's about ability. And for me, Ivan Toney has shown me more in terms of ability. It's like last season Watkins before he came to the Prem. You'd have rather had Watkins at a Prem team last season than some of the players that were in the Prem, even though he'd never played in the Prem. We all knew he was gonna turn up. I don't think he's turned up as much as he should have for 30 mil, but he still turned up in the big games. Who else? Like Charlie said, Mopay. Mopay never played in the Prem, but we knew. I'd watched him enough in the Championships to know he could play.
No, but the thing is, he was incredible for Brentford, and there's so many players in the Championship that score so many goals. It's like Tarat. That season, he had 20 goals, 20 assists, came to the Prem with QPR and didn't do anything. They went straight back down. It's players like that that you can't really make a judgment on until they've done it in the Prem. Tony has got a massive ability.
Lewis Bradman scores how many goals consistently in the Championship?
Every season.
Every single season, and then went up to the Premier League with Villa and was awful.
I mean, we'll see, because Tony will get his chance in the Premier. I think he'll get more goals than, say, Gale did, Graben did. Etc.
I think if Tony gets his chance in the Premier, it'll be with Brentford.
I mean, I'd like to see them come up.
If he got 10, 15, then...
Charlie, assuming we win today, who would you prefer in the final, Man City or Man United?
I mean, me and Dan were talking about this last night because we recorded our League Cup predictions for TikTok. And we were saying that it all depends how heavily each team rotates, because in the semi-final, City and United are probably going to play second-string teams, but in the final, they're not. In the cup final, you play your strongest possible team. And on paper, I know we've already beat City, but I can't see us beating them. This is their competition. They thrive off winning this competition every single season.
It's the Man City Cup. But I was saying that in the last 4 years or so, our record against Man City is very good, and we seem to beat them probably more than they beat us.
I really don't know. I genuinely
that's what I'm saying. I actually don't know, innit? Because
would you want to play against the Man U with a vengeance? Man U will be playing you with a vengeance.
That's the thing. United, I feel like United, it's easy to get gassed off where they are now and the form they've been in, but United go through spells. There's going to be spells this season where they drop points where they shouldn't.
Finals not to April.
They've delayed it. Don't know why, because there still won't be fans allowed, so they might as well just have it in Feb. But my thing with United is, like you say, Jamie, they're going to want revenge after that 6-1 because they got embarrassed. They were absolutely embarrassed. And they've got individual brilliance in the likes of Fernandes, Pogba if he decides to turn up, Rashford, and I can see Cavani scoring a screamer against us or something. So I feel like both. We'll just see what happens in there, because I couldn't tell you I want Man City or United.
I could sit here for an hour where cons and pros of getting both teams. I still couldn't come to a conclusion. I genuinely do not care.
Yeah, it won't really get us anywhere.
I'd probably go
from just a neutral. I'd say Man U. I would.
Yeah, so
I'd probably prefer to play Man U. Because you know that they can be dodgy on any given game. So
yeah, but they can also turn.
I know City can as well.
But there's parts of Man United's defence where Kane and Son and they already have. But I mean, Kane and Son will exploit. Whereas City, Ruben Diaz looks so good. He does look good, yeah. So I just feel like there's parts of Man United where you could exploit.
I feel like I'd be more confident in us beating City in the terms of a one-off game, but considering it's their competition, it does make it.
I think subconsciously you'd be more nervous if you were playing City than United, 100%.
If you were to force me to make a pick right now, I'd say United probably, just because they're not as good as City.
Yeah,
that's my only reason.
And I feel like United's defence is quite poor as well.
Yeah,
we could. I mean, that showed
against us.
On that note, that might end probably the second longest podcast we've ever done.
Before we end, I just want to say again, cover above Birmingham City in the league. Official communication.
I'm not a Blues fan. Oh, wrong hand.
You can't deny you clocked that. Are you all right?
What's he doing? Oh,
I don't know. Reach.
What are you doing?
Usain Bolt. Yeah, so we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Cavs foot, Scott McTominay 5th.
The Modern Game Podcast.